This video was brought to you by Stormberg, a better route planner, MisterGreen, Kempower and Marcus Bil. Yo, what's up? We are now in Bodø, and in this video I'm going to tell you guys good old stories from here. I used to live here between 1991 and 1998 or 9, I don't remember. No, that. Yeah, but I lived here for 9 years. I think it was 91 to 99. I was around 11 to 18 when I lived here. So I will start from here. This is pretty much downtown Bodø, and well, the road wasn't like this in the old days. Actually, the road was a lot wider. They have now made it more pedestrian friendly, but I will show you that this section here is pretty much unchanged. And back in the days, I'm not sure if you can still see it over there. No, but I used to sell newspaper. So the newspaper mill or whatever was over there, 2 of them. And I would sell newspaper in the evening. Yeah, I think I was around 15, 16 years old. I was still going to school, and especially, well, I didn't go on regular evenings, but Friday and Saturday evenings, I would sell newspaper in the city here. And you sell newspaper in the evening, and it's the tomorrow's newspaper that I sell here. And it was a time when I had to kind of compete with a bunch of other kids, but eventually they gave up, and then I just kept selling. It was around 10 NOK, 1 euro. I think this was before euro was even invented, but around 10 NOK per newspaper. I would also get tip many times, especially back then when it cost only 8 NOK, and they would just give me a 10, and that's it. So what I would usually do is I would stand around here, roughly, and I will hold the newspaper out, and then you see cars coming, and they will know that this, I don't know, but they just know that these are newspaper. Some people, they were confused, and they stop and pull over and like, hey, what's up? And they said, hey, do you want to buy newspaper? And I also tried to sell newspaper in restaurants. Time that worked, but most of the time I figured out that the best way is to just camp here, and especially if you stay here until 3 at night, then there were some pubs on the other side here. They have changed everything. This one is new, I don't recognize it, but the pubs, they would close, and they would walk right through here, because over here we have the taxi central, and they would then buy newspaper before they went to the taxi and went home. So back then, as a kid, I was making pretty good money on newspaper. I think we're talking about maybe 150 to 350 NOK per night. So that was the way for me to make money in the old days. Oh. We are now at Nyholmen, and man, over here, I used to fish here a lot. Like right at that spot that the guy's here. I talked to him a little bit. It's okay? He's like, yeah, it's okay to film. But I used to film here because I used to fish here. It's about 4 or 5 kilometers away from town, and I would bicycle over here and then fish here and then bring it back home. So it's we have an island there, and there's a little stream here. Usually there's some stream here coming here, so this is a nice location for catching fish. So if you want to fish in Norway, if you're a foreigner, when you fish on fresh water, you might need, many places you need fiskekort, fishing card or license. But on the ocean, anyone is free to fish whatever they like. Man, this brings back memories. And you know, back in the old days also, every year there would be fishing competition held by Lions Club, and I would join them, and then they shuttle us with boat out to one of the other islands out there, and we fish all day and then come back. And there was one year I became a bymester, the town meister or something. I caught the biggest cod ever in my life. It was around 8 kilos, but after you remove the head and the intestines, it became 5.7 kilos. So that was the biggest fish that year. Yeah, wow. Okay, next up, this is Aspossen skole. I used to go to this school. It's I don't remember it's elementary school, but it's between 7 years and whatever. But I started here at 4th grade, which is 11 years old. So this was different. Maybe you guys even remember it. There used to be a slope here. This whole area has been totally changed. There was a main entrance here before, and a slope, and in the winter we would slide down. I remember they would put water on this slope and let it freeze, and then we'll slide down here. But anyway, so over here, Asposten. So the story was that when I first came to Norway, I came to Mo i Rana. You guys have seen that episode before. That was when I was a little kid and all that, little girl. But then I moved over here when I was 11. And I stay here, and this was the school I went to. Let me show you. It's now also a concert hall inside there. In the really old days, they called it Aulan, which was a big hall for when we had gymnastics. But then they changed it to be a concert hall instead. And now it's just it's actually kind of weird. It's concert hall plus school. So the school, the rooms, they would be over here, the classes, yeah. And you will actually see in around Christmas, there will be Christmas decorations on every glass here. But I have to tell you, so back then I didn't have many friends. I had just one friend. His name was Erik. I'm still good friends with him. He also moved to Oslo. I also eventually moved to Oslo. That was kind of funny. Actually, yeah, we were pretty good friends over here, and then he moved to another school. Yeah, that's how it was. But then we went back to the other school. I can show you when it was ungdomsskole further down the road. But anyway, so what I want to tell you here is that over here I didn't have many friends, and there were the cool kids, of course. The other kids, they were the cool kids. They were doing sports. It was håndball, handball over here. Also the girls, they were also playing handball. And I had no girlfriend, a few buddies, but also people I didn't get along with many of the guys over here. So it was just like that. I just did my own thing, you know. I was kind of nerdy, and I think back then it was in the 90s, you know. People weren't too used to foreigners in here, so but they were like, I was maybe okay. I think I wasn't bullied from time to time, maybe a little bit, but I wasn't typical guy that would bully, because I would try to fight back, but I usually can't fight back. But at least there were some people who didn't like me. There was one guy, well, maybe I shouldn't mention his name, but he had a girlfriend, of course, and he told me that, you know, I'm a loser and I will never get a girlfriend. I was like, well. And we had fights also with the kids over here, yes. And what happened then? Many years later, I'm married to wifey, yeah, the most beautiful girl in the world. And also, back then, yeah, like I said, the cool kids, we didn't always get along with the other kids, the guys who played handball. You know, they considered themselves cool and all that, and they were also favorite among the girls and all that. And I remember one guy. We also had fights. I don't know why, but that's just how kids are, right? So when I left Bodø many years ago, actually just a couple of years ago, that means, you know, 30 years later, one of the guys from the class here, he contacted me, yeah, and he started asking me about Tesla because he saw my channel. And I was thinking, that's one of the guys I dislike. Maybe I didn't hate him, but I disliked him. But it was so long ago, so I was a little bit flattered. He asked questions about Tesla, and then eventually he bought a Tesla, a second-hand Model S, and he's super happy with it. So I mean, you know, just back then, sometimes I felt like I was a loser. That I couldn't even get a girlfriend. And then as you age, as you work your way up, you actually earn respect. And then the guys who look kind of maybe sometimes look down at you, they then look up at you and ask you for advices for Tesla. Okay, just a little bit further down the road we have ungdomsskole, which is considered upper. I don't remember. I don't remember the whole system in other countries, but at least here it's okay. But when you are between, I don't even remember. But a little bit further up after elementary school, you get over here. So I also went here, class. Not too much to say about that one. And then I remember when I started going here. I was around 13, 14 years. I noticed that I like math. I think that's an Asian thing. I was actually pretty brilliant at math, about geometry, about calculating angles, about area, everything. You know, I memorized all the formulas and also understood how to calculate things. So I guess this is where the ninja was born. And also over here, this is then videregående, Bodø videregående. It's, I think it's called high school, yes, in English terms. So I also went here, we went to, they call it allmennfag, so it's just like a generic stuff before you go to even higher, like Gjøvik. Yeah, so I guess there is no Gjøvik tour included in this one, but after, man, I just have to point out that, just notice that there is an i3 over there. There is a Model X over there. Man, Teslas are everywhere nowadays, and EVs in general. But over here also, I wasn't sure what to become, but I was thinking maybe I want to be a teacher. Or, yeah, but then I think at one point, I think when I was studying here, I found out I like computers, yes, and I want to be a computer engineer. So at one point, I figured out, okay, computer engineering is my way to go. Yeah, my mom wanted me to be a doctor or a chef. I don't know why, but again, you know, the kids need to choose what they want to be. But I remember, it's a little bit embarrassing, but there was one girl in the French class here that I like for the longest time. But you know, I never had the courage to ask her out or anything. I don't know what's up with her, but I just like her. And there was one time, how did I do this? I recorded this Celine Dion song. It's called I Love You, and I gave it to her. And I don't know, I think I got no response after that one. So then one day I just really had to gather up my courage and then ask her out. And then she said that she had a boyfriend. You can imagine I couldn't go to that. Well, I went to the class, but that was kind of awkward. But nowadays we can just laugh at it. So yeah, this is it. And then after I studied, after I was in class here, I then moved to Gjøvik, and then I actually left Bodø for good. Okay, the last place I will show you is this house. We used to live here a long time ago. So, and also my mom bought it. Yeah, that was a long time ago. She bought the whole house. It's a fairly big one, and she made this level, the ground level or the basement level here, as the store, Nyland import. Right now it's some tattoo store, but these were windows back then that they have now blocked. And also in really old days, she also used a second, well, or I mean, how to call it, this floor here used to also be some of it. And actually this is a really old house. It was built, I don't remember if it was in the 1800 something. It's one of the older houses in in Bodø. And my mom actually made, she cut a hole in the floor between this floor and that one. And when they cut the floor, lots of sand came out. They put sand in the house as insulation. That's crazy. But you see, we would then live on that floor there. That's where we have the living room and everything, the bathroom. And then my bedroom would be up there. Man, that place is where the ninja was born. I spent countless hours playing with computers, playing games, playing Doom. Oh yeah. Doom, Quake. You know, I had a friend. His name is Trond. I'm still in touch with him. Well, actually, it's been a couple of years now. But he used to live down there with his parents back then. But now he moved to another place. But so he was just nearby, and we would come over. I mean, he would come over, and we would play games together. And in the old days, we used. I don't remember how we connected the computers. If it was. We used coax cable. It was before the TP network, and we also used serial cable to connect and play Doom and Duke Nukem and all those games together. And he would carry his computer over to my house, or I would carry my computer to his house. And because back then we didn't have cell phones or anything or instant messaging, so he would come over and then knock on the a wall there, and I would hear it, and then I come down and open. Sometimes I couldn't hear it, and then mom was like, "Hey Bjørn, Trond is here." Man, that was the old days. So this was my home right before I moved away from Bodø. That was a long time ago. Wow. So. And also eventually my mom also my mom has sold all of this now. So now she only owns the part in Kongens Gate. So this is just being used as living place and also the business in the first floor. But my mom is not connected to this one anymore. But man, have we stayed here a long time in Bodø. So you guys probably hear that I have a slight dialect, and it's from Bodø, a Bodø dialect. That's me. And I still can't get rid of it. And actually in the old days, in really old days, this is no joke, man, no joke. In Oslo, I think it was in the 60s, they were actually discriminating Nordlendinger or people from the north. So if you saw an ad about, for example, a place to stay or something, they would say, "Nordlendinger ikke velkommen." Nordlendinger is not welcome. Maybe it was a myth, but I believe this was actually true. But it's completely different now. If you try to do something like that today, you will be slaughtered. But anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this tour. There are other places I might want to visit, but I'm not sure if you guys will think it's interesting. So I think that's going to be it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.